We have some breaking news we want to tell you about from the New York Times. President Trump, according to the paper, gave firm instructions in March to the White House's top lawyer to stop Attorney General Jeff Sessions from recusing himself in the Russia investigation. This is a breaking story just posted within the last few minutes. The Times reports that White House counsel Don McGahn carried out the president's orders and lobbied Sessions to remain in charge of the inquiry. This, according to two people with knowledge of the episode. Ultimately, of course, McGahn was unsuccessful. Michael Schmidt, reporter for the New York Times, broke that story. He is joining us now by phone. Michael, thank you for taking a few minutes. So take us through this. The basics are, we know right now in public, Donald Trump is very upset that Jeff Sessions has recused himself from this investigation. You're reporting that back in March, Trump told the top White House lawyer to stop him, and the top White House lawyer tried to do that.
Correct. And afterwards, the president got very angry. And the president's been open about his anger, but this was a one-on-one, was in front of several other White House officials. And the president said that he needed an attorney general who was going to protect them. He said that he wanted something along the lines of what RFK had been for JFK or what Eric Holder had been for Barack Obama. And then he said, "Where's my Roy Cohn?" referring to his longtime personal lawyer and fixer who had, done the communist investigations in the 1950s. But these are different events that we uncovered that Mueller has learned about in the course of his investigation as he looks at the question of obstruction.
Right. That also is a key part of this here. This is information you're saying that Robert Mueller, the special prosecutor, has found and he's now looking at.
Correct. And, it doesn't look like anything in and of it, in terms of lobbying Sessions. I don't know if in and of itself that is obstruction. But there's different events that he's learned about, an effort by a White House lawyer to sort of hide from the president the fact that he could actually fire the FBI director by misleading him about the powers that he had in the hopes that the president wouldn't do it. There's just different things as Mueller has interviewed and looked through documents that he has kicked up in learning more about how this White House operated.
Do you have a sense here? Sessions obviously refused this pressure. He did recuse himself. Do you have a sense, though, how he handled this? Did he almost recuse himself as a result? What the message was specifically that was delivered to him?
Well, the thing was that Sessions had basically decided to recuse himself at that point. It hadn't been publicly announced, but there was pressure on Sessions at that point to do so because it had come out that he had met with Russians during the campaign, contradicting some of his testimony he had given to Congress. So there was this call for him to recuse, and the president knew about this and tried to stop it, and it ultimately ended up with Sessions making it public that he was recused from the investigation.
And the other piece of it, again, you say Trump ordered McGahn, the White House lawyer, to deliver the message. Is there any context there in terms of, did McGahn just do this without question? Did he say, "Mr. President, maybe I should"? What was the context of that exchange? Any idea there?
No, I think McGahn has been in difficult situations several times with the president where the president will say or do things that may be outlandish that McGahn thinks are bad ideas, but McGahn is his lawyer and tries to find a way to do those things, but do them in a nuanced and smart way. And in the case of this case here, what McGahn did was try and make a nuanced argument to Sessions, but it didn't work.
And you make this case, I'm just looking through this, I think with a lot of people at home reading this for the first time, too. You have President Trump here at one point saying, "Where's my Roy Cohn?" Roy Cohn had been his personal lawyer in the 70s and 80s, sort of a notorious, in many ways, Washington lawyer, the McCarthy Committee back in the 50s, moved up to New York after that, but looking for, an aggressive protector, seeing the Attorney General in that capacity.
Correct. It's an unusual way of looking at the Attorney General. Most White Houses try and keep their distance from the Justice Department, try and stay away from investigations. But the president was very preoccupied with the Russia investigation. In February, he asked Comey to end the investigation to his national security advisor. He spent a lot of time trying to lobby Comey to step aside, to get out the word that he wasn't under investigation. So there's been a very long-standing preoccupation by the president about this.
And again, you say this is something the special counsel has discovered. Unclear here, we talk about this question of obstruction of justice, if just making this request from the president's standpoint would constitute that or anything. But any idea where the special counsel is going as a result of learning this?
No, we don't have a lot of visibility into how they see the legal question here. Legal experts are divided about how the president, how much there is an obstruction case here and what the president, could be in trouble for. These cases are not easy, and they say that it would be more clear-cut if there was evidence of the president trying to get someone to lie or to destroy some sort of evidence, and we don't have any evidence of that.
Okay, again, this is a breaking news story. You're all hearing it out there as we're reading it. This is in the last few minutes. Michael Schmidt of the New York Times reporting this again, that President Trump had asked the White House counsel to keep Jeff Sessions from recusing himself, that the White House counsel attempted to do that, but that Jeff Sessions, of course, did end up recusing himself from this Russia matter. Michael Schmidt from the